The strange thing about the life we've built is that I've spent years dreaming of freedom, dreaming of waking up wherever we wanted, travelling wherever we wanted, and now I have that freedom, I'm finding myself frustrated because I can't use it. I know there are bigger problems in the world and I know how lucky I am, but I want to be honest, I'm struggling with being still. I think sometimes we put adventure in a box. Like we think it has to be a mountain or a new country or somewhere we've never been before. Yeah, it got me thinking, like, I love travelling personally because we're all going to die one day, aren't we? That's what's going to happen. Every single one of us on planet Earth is going to die. That's coming, that's a fact. And that's why I like travelling. It's not a depressing thought because knowing that is why I want to live. Like that's how it is for me. Like that's why I want to live. That's why I want to travel. That's why I want adventure and freedom. I want to make memories, like we always say on this channel, don't we? Like, write your own story. I want to write stories that I can tell when I'm 80 years old and I look back and I've got stories to tell. But like just sitting here at the side of this beautiful stream, it's just got me thinking, like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I've got this a little bit wrong. And I think being kind of stuck and not being able to travel at the moment, it's teaching me something. I think there's a lesson to be learned in every single thing we do. And I think even the whole travelling idea of freedom isn't necessarily that. I think I've missed something along the way, chasing the next country, chasing the next adventure, chasing the next location on the road. You know, that idea of life being on the open road is everything you think it is. But I think I've personally missed something. I think what I've missed is that the adventure, the freedom is right here in this present moment. I think that's what I've missed. I think one thing that makes Romany Pirates on our channel is that we're honest, we're real. You know, a lot of people call us authentic, and I think that's something that's missing on social media, and I'm glad we come across like that. I really am, because we're never anything other than ourselves. And right now, quite honestly, you know, Daisy's still recovering. If you're new here, Daisy's our little chihuahua, and we've not been able to travel in the van because Daisy's recovering from a major operation, and so we've just been kind of confined, stuck to like a local area around Daisy's vet. And so that's kind of the situation. And then Emma, again, if you're new here, Emma's my wife, my partner in crime on Romany Pirates, and Emma's been struggling with her health this last sort of week. She struggles from illnesses, does Emma, and she's really been struggling, so she's just needed to kind of stop off the camera and just really, really kind of relax. And I've always had this thing in me, like ever since I was a kid, of this wanderlust, this open road, this freedom, and I'm very much like go, 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 go. And this situation, it kind of made me stop, you know, and maybe I needed to stop too. Like maybe this is what I needed. And like I say, I think everything teaches you a lesson. And there's a lesson to be learned in this for me personally, where life has made me stop. Like it's made me slow down, it's made me stop. You know, it doesn't have to be, that's what I'm kind of learning through this kind of current situation, is it doesn't have to be 1,000 miles on the open road. Like it doesn't have to be that. It can be a beautiful stream out in nature, literally right where you are in that present moment, that living life is literally right now, you know. And it's hard, like it's hard for me. Like I have this constant feeling of needing to travel, not even wanting to travel, needing to be on the open road. And then that's how we live our lives. And it's sometimes life just has a way of making you stop, of making you slow down, you know, and that's one of these situations. And then through that, I'm kind of just looking around me going, this is an adventure, this is epic. You know, I've walked about 15 minutes from the van, 20 minutes from the van, and didn't really know what I was coming to, didn't know what I was going to find. And then this place is just like, I don't know, nature has a way of making you reflect and teach you something, doesn't it? I think sometimes van life channels, travel channels, including our own, can make it seem like it's constantly this idyllic life. Oh, that's cold. Constantly this idyllic life. And sometimes it's not, you know. Sometimes not everything's perfect. Not everything's, you know, idyllic all the time. You know, you go through struggles, you go through things that you personally find difficult. And this is something that Emma and I are finding difficult, and to be honest, Daisy's finding difficult as well, bless her. Like, she's used to being on an adventure and she's used to being in a pram, and I think this is teaching us all something, I really do. I think it's, sometimes life just makes you stop and appreciate things more, and I think that's maybe something that we've been missing, is that we do appreciate everything we've got. You know, we've been in the 9 to 5, we know what it's like to wake up at 5 o'clock on a cold winter Monday morning, you know, and have to go to a place that you don't particularly want to go to, you know, and you get there and you think, what am I doing with my life? Like, is this all there is to life? Can there really be something else out there? And we've been there, both Emma and I have been there, you know, and yes, we absolutely appreciate everything we're doing and how we're living our lives. And you guys, like, we appreciate you guys so much, you know, all our viewers, everybody that comments, all that kind of thing. But I think life can sometimes go so quickly, even when you think that you're living a life of freedom and relaxation, if that makes sense, like the way that we travel in a van. And actually sometimes, like, as I say, I came down here looking for a bit of adventure, or like, right, I'm going to go on a little bit of a hike because I've not walked much recently. And I thought, let's go on an adventure, let's go try and, you know, see what's around the next corner, that kind of feeling. And then as I was walking, it just really got me kind of reflecting on the fact that actually I'm missing something big time here, because even doing what we're doing in van life, even if you've got a van and you travel, even then you can miss the real element of freedom and appreciation around you. Like, the slower pace of life is kind of what we're aiming for, away from the system, away from the 9 to 5, you know, away from the busyness and the chaos of life, you know. And if I'm being honest, like, I feel a little bit, not selfish is the wrong word, but a little bit like I've taken it a little bit too much for granted, you know. And I've been almost, not mourning, because it's not Daisy's fault, bless her, is it, that we've had to wait for her to recover and nurse her back to health and stuff. You know, that's part of having a family, isn't it? That's part of family life, you know. But it's not that it's selfish, it's that, like, I've not been appreciating things as much as I could, I don't think. And yeah, that's kind of, I didn't expect to kind of end up reflecting on that on this walk, if you know what I mean. And some people are like, you know, some people can't travel in a van, you know, some people can't live the life that we do. And I think as well, like, just thinking on the spot here, like, you know, sometimes the best adventures and sometimes the best moments, like this absolutely idyllic little spot here, is all you need. You know, what's 10 minutes from your home, what's 5 minutes from your home, you know. Can you just create that moment in a garden by looking at a little butterfly or watching the birds, setting up a bird feeder? Like, it's in the smaller moments of life, in that present moment, that you realise life is literally all around you. You know, it's literally right now, life's literally all around you. And yeah, I don't know, I'm probably babbling, aren't I? I'm probably babbling on, but that's just kind of what I've been thinking about. I mean, look how beautiful this is. You know, we didn't need to go far. We've been kind of stuck around the Yorkshire area, around Daisy's vet, as I say. And yeah, sometimes life don't have to be stuck. It don't have to be far. Adventure don't have to be far. Travel and freedom don't have to be far. Look at me go without Emma. So yeah, talking of Emma, bless her heart, she has been struggling, as I say, like, with her health. For those of you that watch us regularly, you'll know she struggles with a lot of different illnesses that make her quite tired and quite poorly and in pain quite a lot. And we know that we need to get her into the heat. Like, she's better I mean, I know it's hot now, but she's better when she's abroad. Like the heat is just different there. It's something to do with the pressure of the humidity. I know a lot of you struggle with the same kind of illnesses as Emma and stuff out there, so you'll kind of know what I mean by that. I'm not going to pretend to understand all that, but I need to get her kind of into the heat, into that thing, and we can't because of Daisy. And so, you know, she's struggling, and actually this heat that we're having at the moment in the UK ain't great for Emma because it's quite humid, isn't it, and stuff. So it's she's struggling, bless her. So I was like, right, I need to get out. I was going absolutely crazy in the van, just like I need to go, I need to do something. And she's like, why don't you go for a walk? And I was like, yeah, do you know what? I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go for a little walk and just explore. And then by doing that, I've kind of discovered something that feels quite new to me. Like it feels quite new because, you know, I don't like labels, but if you've watched me in the past, like I'm quite all over the place, like my brain shoots off in different directions. And so I'm like, I want to travel here, I want to travel there, next place, next place, next place, you know. And the way we do van life travel, and you know, the way that we do van life is that we sleep, move, sleep, move, sleep, move constantly. So we're always on the go, thinking that we're appreciating stuff. And actually, it's only when you stop and slow down that you go, whoa, I've not been doing that. And I think sometimes the simplest things, a little butterfly just went past me as I said that. Sometimes the simplest things in life can actually be life changing, you know. And maybe I don't know your situation, you know. It's taken Emma and I a lot of hard work and a lot of years to even begin to get to where we are now and where we're heading. So I don't know your current situation. Maybe you're wanting to travel, maybe you're wanting to get a van, maybe you're wanting to buy a boat or, you know, buy some land abroad, you know, whatever it is. And the reason you're probably wanting to do that, I'm guessing, is because a lot of people out there, like we get a lot of comments, a lot of emails sort of saying, Reese, Emma, you know, we're sick of stuck in the 9 to 5, we can't see a way out of it, I'm paying a mortgage, I'm paying a car, the bills are mounting up, you know. And so I don't know your situation, but what I'm kind of learning, even with the way that we live our lives, is that sometimes even if you're in that, you can find the simplest things that create that feeling of adventure and freedom. Like it doesn't have to be travelling thousands of miles, you know. You can find it in all kinds of things. I found it in the past with art, like when I were in the 9 to 5, I was really into art, and that for a long time was how I made my money, you know. And so being an artist and stuff, and so you can find that gave me an outlet for this feeling of needing to be creative, needing to think outside the box, think outside the norm, if you like. You know, art did a lot of that for me. So maybe there's something like that you can find. I don't know. And again, I hope this is just an honest sit-down conversation. Like I'm just, like literally just sat here on my own, talking to the camera, talking to you guys. And hoping that, yeah, I don't know, I always hope when we do our vlogs that somebody will find it helpful somewhere, you know, like yes, hopefully it's entertaining, hopefully you enjoy watching us, for me and Emma and Daisy, but hopefully as well that you get something out of it. Maybe you've had a crap day, a rubbish day, and you're sort of thinking, and this just makes you smile and it makes you think, actually, yeah, I'm gonna go for a 5-minute walk and see what's around, or I don't know, you know, but. And it's not something I would normally say. Like normally, like we're heavy on kind of encouraging people to break out of the system, break out of the 9 to 5, live your life, you know. And so this isn't something you'd normally hear us say on Romany Pirates, but it's something that, like I say, I've reflected on, and even sat here now, like I'm talking to you live, if that makes sense. Like it's not something I've kind of been thinking for too long, really. It's something that I've kind of discovered just today, which is mad, isn't it? Is that, you know, life can be found, adventure can be found on your doorstep, and that's crazy. It'll never stop me travelling and longing for the open road because that's just who I am, you know. But it has made me stop and reflect and be grateful and really kind of appreciate everything on a minuscule, is that the right word? Like on a little level, basically. You know, the stream, the water, I can hear the water, I can hear the little birds like chirping away in the trees, little butterflies flying around me, you know, and that's about life, innit? Like that's appreciating life and being grateful for what you've got. And I think I'll be forever grateful for what I've got. I'm a city lad. I grew up in the city, did all the 9 to 5 things. You know, it wasn't always this kind of freedom that we're living now, and we've still got a long way to go, me and Emma. Like, you know, we're still pushing forward to find that true meaning of it. And I don't think you ever really do, you know, and this whole kind of thing of being off-grid and out of the system, I think you've always got one foot in the system somewhere, haven't you? And that's not normally what me and Emma mean. I think what me and Emma mean is getting stuck in the norm just because you feel you have to stay in the norm. That's what we kind of mean by the system, I think, a lot of the time, is staying where you are if you're unhappy and thinking that that is your only option in life because that's what you've been always taught or told. You know, that's the story that's been told to you by whoever, you know, is that you have to live in a house, you have to do things in the normal way, and you don't. And that's kind of always been our message. You don't have to do it. You can do life however you choose to do life, you know, whatever you want to do in life, make the best attempt you can to do it, because as I said earlier, the matter of the fact is we're all going to die, like, and that's a scary thought, innit? But it's also a motivating thought to go, right, I've only got one shot at this life. You've heard me say this before on Romany Pirates, but it's something I'm so passionate about, is that you've only got one shot. You know, how are you going to spend yours? In 80 years' time, what are you going to look back on? What are the stories you're going to remember? You know, was it the panic of X, Y, and Z? Or was it that you came to a stream one day and made a discovery about yourself and learnt something new about yourself and realised something about yourself? You know, is it that you travelled the world? Is it that you know, it can be from one extreme to the other, but what's the story you're going to be telling yourself and others when you're older? That's kind of what I always think to myself. And of course, being a vlogger, got to share it on camera. Like, I love sharing things on camera. I love YouTube and everything that goes with YouTube, because it gives me that creative outlet that art used to do. You know, part of loving this way of life has become loving YouTube and loving vlogging and filming and being creative with stuff. You know, it's that kind of, that's all part of it for me, I think. So yeah, a little bit more about how Emma's been doing. So she has these like relapses basically, and her face can drop. She gets shakes. She's in absolute pain. She can't sleep. She gets a lot of insomnia where she doesn't sleep for days, and yeah, it can relapse. And bless her heart, she's just struggled. If you watched the last vlog about Daisy when we were up in Bingley, Emma had to kind of go back to the van at the end, and it's kind of been that where she's just been really, really struggling. And yeah, even things like coming on camera just for 5 minutes will make her extremely tired, that kind of thing. You know, it's just part of living with that illness. And Daisy, bless her, she's doing really well. She's still quite slow, she's still recovering. We still can't travel far because she's got another vet appointment, another checkup next week, I think. And Emma's got a hospital appointment as well, so we're kind of still in the local vicinity. And that's why I'm down here, basically. That's why I've come down here. And what an afternoon it's been on a Monday afternoon. So I've literally got to go now and edit this and then upload it ready for you guys to watch it Tuesday. It's made me properly reflect, sat here, beautiful sunshine, clear blue skies, listening to the water, the leaves rustling in the trees, little butterflies and birds flying about everywhere. It's a little spot of paradise, and like I say, Emma's literally 10-15 minutes up there in the van and we've got all this. I so appreciate this way of life. It's just incredible. I don't know what I've done in a past life to deserve the life that I've got and that I've got with Emma, you know. And Daisy, you know, it's the life we live, and the opportunity to do this on a Monday is crazy, isn't it? You know, it's like the appreciation is just crazy, because you just look around you and you think, wow, to be able to get this, and we have worked hard, we've worked so hard for this and continue to do so, you know, we work so hard. And it's little moments like this in the quiet where you just sort of think, wow, you know, this is what it's about. You know, we call it van life just because it's a kind of kind of a thing everybody understands, isn't it, when you say that? But it's beyond it's beyond van life. It's beyond van life. It's about freedom and living life on your own terms and trying to work out what you've got to do to end up living life on your own terms, and that is not an easy journey. You know, we're always honest on Romany Pirates, and that's not an easy journey. It can be a difficult, sometimes very, very stressful journey. And even when you're in the van, we've all got different things that we don't like. Once you're actually living the nomadic life, once you're actually doing it, there'll be things that life doesn't suddenly become absolutely perfect. And one of the things for me, you know, which is kind of what this has been about, is that I've been struggling big time. I have, you know, and some people sort of go, oh, what are you struggling for? And I know there's you know, worse off people in the world and people going through horrific things, and my heart goes out to everyone. But you have to be honest with yourself and go, what is it I struggle with? And what I struggle with is when my brain goes too fast, it goes too quick, and I've nowhere to put that. And that's partly why I need to travel. I need to be on the road, because that's where my brain's it's most comfortable and where I feel at peace, you know. And yeah, and that's what I've been struggling with, which is why Emma's sort of kicked me out of the van today and gone, right, go for a walk, go for a walk and have a think. Because, and you'll struggle with stuff as well, like if it's, you know, if you're new to this life, or you're just starting this life, or you've been doing this life for a while, like, yeah, everybody will have their struggles and their moments where they're like, I just can't do this. Even when you're in the van. When you're in the van, there's moments where you think, I can't do this anymore. Like there is, that's a natural way of where your brain goes, isn't it? But like I always say, it is epic, and sometimes you just need to remember how epic it actually is. And I think that's what I've needed to do. Like I've needed to come down here and go, wow, this is absolutely breathtaking. Just being in one spot is breathtaking. Maybe writing your own story doesn't always mean moving forward. Maybe sometimes it means just appreciating the chapter you're already living. I still want to travel, don't get me wrong, and I still want to see the world. I don't think that's changed. But today reminded me that adventure isn't measured by miles. And sometimes the greatest adventure isn't finding somewhere new. Sometimes it's learning to see where you already are.